Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to make a Christmas tree ornament, and this is inspired by this necklace that I made a few years ago with these sparkly stars on, and I was just looking at it thinking that these stars would be really pretty hung in a Christmas tree. But what I'm going to do, I'm actually off to France to visit my family, and my mum for the past few years has made matching Christmas decorations, one for her, one for me, and one for my sister. So I thought, as I'm going to visit her, if I take everything I need to make my star Christmas decorations, I can make them with her as the family ornament for the year. And I can also introduce you to my mum, who is the person who taught me how to sew and also inspired and encouraged my creativity when I was young. So I'm not taking my big camera because I don't have a lot of space, but I'm going to switch to my phone camera. So if there's a change in image and sound, I apologise, but I just can't take this big one with me. So come with me to France, come with me to my mum's house, meet my mum, and we're going to make some pretty star Christmas tree decorations. Hello, I've made it to France and I'm here with my mum Sue in her gorgeous little house in France. And because Mum started the tradition of making the Christmas decorations, one each for the two of us and one for my sister as well, I thought what better way to carry on that tradition than to bring everything over here and we can make them together. Brilliant. Here's what I'm using to make the stars. To make the actual stars themselves, I'm using some thick felt. This is probably about 3 or 4 mil thick, so it's quite stiff. You can just use the felt as it is, but I'm actually going to use Bonder web, so the iron-on fusible webbing. I'm going to use that to put some silver lycra either side of it. Lycra doesn't fray when you cut it, and it's just to add a little bit more sparkle to the felt because the felt's quite matte. So I'll have sparkle behind my sparkle. I've got a whole bunch of different size star stencils. These were stars I just found a free star download on Google years ago, and then I photocopied it to different sizes. And I just keep these as a star template for anytime I need some stars. I've got some ribbon offcuts that I found in my stash to use to make the hanging loops for them to put over the Christmas tree branches. I've got some thick top stitching thread. I forgot to pack mine when I came over, and thankfully in the local market on Thursday there was a stall there that sells sewing supplies and they had a thick grey thread. I've got a regular grey thread as well for sewing stones on. This is to do the drops. I've got a variety of different sew-on sparkly stones. I've got some beads and some little seed beads and all sorts just in the right sort of colours. These, I actually raided my mum's stash to see what beads she had. She had these really pretty little snowflake sequins as well. So we got those, we've got some silver beads. And then I've got lots of glue-on rhinestones. I've got clear and AB in 2016 and 12 and both of those, and then I've got some teardrop stones as well in clear and AB. So basically I've just gathered anything that I had that was in silvers and ABs that goes well together. You can do any color scheme you want to do. I'm doing stars, you can do any shapes you want to do. So this isn't just for Christmas. You can use this technique to make all sorts of different appliques, or like the necklace that I showed you at the start. These are actually a couple of little stars left over from when I made the necklace. And they're both the same, so I'm actually going to stick them together and make an extra decoration. And then I've got my Fabrifuse and my wax pencil to put the glue-on stones on. The first job I'm going to do is fuse my lycra onto the felt. So all I'm going to do is cut a piece of the fusible webbing and put that on either side of the felt with the lycra on top. I'm going to cover it with a tea towel and then press it until it melts, and then my lycra will be completely fused onto the felt. All right, I've cut my Bonder web to the size of the felt, and I've got it with the web side down and the paper side up, and I'm going to use a hot iron to press that and melt it onto the felt, a hot iron with no steam. And I don't have a tripod that works for this, so sorry for the wobbly camera. I'm doing this one-handed while I hold the camera. for it. You can see the bit that I've ironed where it's melted and it's now stuck to the felt. I'm going to do that all over and then leave it to cool, and once it's cool I can pull the paper backing off. So the Bondi Web's cooled and I've peeled the paper backing off it. You can't really see a difference on camera, but it's left a sort of shiny layer on here which is bonded to the felt. Then all I'm doing now is laying the lycra right side up on top of it, and then I'm going to cover it with a tea towel so I don't melt the lycra, and then iron it again, and that will melt the lycra onto the fusible webbing on the other side. How cute's my mum's kitty cat tea towel? Look at that. Again, I'm using no steam for this, just a really hot iron. And Mum gets an iron tea towel out of it too, so everyone's a winner. Here's how it looks with the lycra fused on. It's bonded onto the felt really well. So if I'm using this for appliques or jewellery, I use this for necklaces a lot. I just do it on one side and leave the felt on the other side. But because we're doing Christmas decorations and you're going to see both sides, I'm just going to repeat that process on the second side of the felt. So this is how my felt looks with the lycra attached both sides. It's really thick, so it's going to make a nice sturdy decoration that should last us a long time. To cut my stars out, I'm just going to take one of my paper star templates that is the size that I want to make. And all I'm going to do is pop it on here. Instead of trying to draw all the way around it, I'm going to put it on and I'm just going to make some dots with my disappearing pen at the points and on the inside, and then I can draw these, line them up with a ruler and get straighter lines. There's my 10 dots. But I'm going to draw all the way across because I want some lines on here that will show me where to put the beads so I can get everything on there nice and evenly. So I'm going to draw around it like that. Then I'm also going to do some lines down the center so I can line all my beads up that way as well. And this will give me a center mark as well to put a center bead on there. So that's what it looks like with all of my lines drawn on. Yeah, these lines here are going to make it really easy for me to center a crystal and to get nice even placement of my beads and crystals around and up each point. So next I'm just going to cut this out with a sharp pair of scissors. I've got 2 stars cut out and I've drawn the lines on both sides, and then I've just stitched a bit of ribbon onto the top of one of the points on both of them as the loop to go over the branches of the Christmas tree. So now I've got to this point, I can start decorating them. And I'm just going to use my Fabrifuse just to put these into position. Even though they're glue-on stones, even though they're sew-on stones, I'm going to glue them first. And then once the glue's dry, I'm going to then put some stitches through to hold them. I just find it easier than trying to keep them exactly in position as you sew them. So I'm going to pop one of them in the middle. Then I'm going to glue some of these little teardrop stones either side, going up each point. So I'm just putting a little bit of Fabrifuse on. Again, I might come back and put a few threads through these, but I find for costumes I need to sew these on as well because they can come off the silver backing, but I think for hanging on a Christmas tree they'll be fine. So then I'm just going to line each one up along the line I drew up into the point. These are going to take some time because I'm going to have to let each bit dry. I'm going to have to let one complete side dry before I can turn it over and do the same on the other side. So they're going to take a while, but a lot of that will just be drying time. That's the start of my first star. So Mum, what are you going to put on yours?
I don't know.
Have a rummage through and see what you fancy. There's sew-on stones and stick-on and all sorts.
I love those 5 that you just put round. I'll have some of those definitely on mine.
We've got those in the AB, and I've got some clear ones as well. Cool, I'm pretty happy with that as the first side of mine.
Oh wow.
So I'm going to leave that to dry and start another one. So here's where we're up to. We've got 3 matching stars with slightly different variations of the sparkles on there. We're just going to let them dry for a little bit and then come back and flip them over and do the other sides. Next, I'm going to do a double one. So I'm going to have a big star with a smaller star underneath and then some beads dangling down and some beads between them. So I'm using a top stitching cotton thread and I've got it double in my needle. I've checked that my needle, the eye of the needle fits through all the beads. And I'm going to start by coming through probably from one corner here. So my knot's nice and secure and I want to come out right in that point there. And I know it's going to be nice and strong through the center. Try and line them up. Yep, let's come through. And because I'm going to stone around the edge, that's going to hide the knot. Now, actually, the knot's gone inside the felt, so that's even better. But yeah, that's not going anywhere. So now I can start threading beads on. I've got some just little glass beads with an AB coating. I've got some silver rondelles and then I've got some glass drops as well. That's probably about right for the gap between them. So now I'm going to go right into that point and do the same. Go right through the middle and out the bottom because that's going to keep the strength all the way down. Hopefully my needle's long enough. Line it up. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to do the same again, but I'm going to finish with a drop this time. So 3, so it's the same as the middle bit, and then I'm going to come through my drop bead, and then I'm going to go all the way back up through what we've already done again, and then I'm going to fasten it at the top. And you don't want to pull it too tight, otherwise it won't dangle properly. Cool, so I'm just going to knot it off here and then I'm going to run it, the tails right the way back through it again. And then once we glue rhinestones on the edge, that's going to stop it coming unknotted, so it's going to be really secure. So knot, and then pull it through to the other side there. And cut it, and that's given us a nice long dangly double star. So all I need to do now is stitch my ribbon on the top for hanging it over the Christmas tree branch, and then I can start embellishing it. And to embellish it, I'm going to do it exactly the same as I did the single stars. Here's how my stars are looking with both sides done. They're looking really sparkly. The last job I want to do is just to put some stones on the edges where they join. So on this one, I've used some SS16s just to hide the felt on the side there. And you can see how they look from the front. You can just sort of see the 3D effect there. But I'm going to do the next one. I'm actually going to use SS12, so some slightly smaller ones on this one. All I'm going to do is hold it in my hand and put some dots of glue all the way along. Yeah, just to finish the edges off nicely. Yeah, I think 6 on each side on this side should work well. That's how that edge looks with the little SS12s on. This step's entirely optional. You can just leave the cut edges if you want, but I think I want to hide mine with some more sparkle. I'm going to finish doing all my edges and then we'll be back to show you how they look on the Christmas tree. Here are all our finished stars hung on Mum's Christmas tree. So I'm heading to the UK tomorrow, so I'm going to pack up mine and my sister's. I will deliver hers. And then in 2 weeks' time, I head back to Australia. How pretty do these look on the tree? I'm so happy with them. They're so sparkly. And what a treat to be able to make it with my mum. Thank you for watching. My next video will be an interview that I recorded with my mum while I was in France. So stay tuned. That will be out very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.